The car sitting at number 1 on this list is not the fastest, it's not the longest range, and it is not the most expensive. So why does it rank above everything else? Here's what I want you to sit with until we get there. There is one car on this countdown that scores highest across every single ranking criterion: engineering, design legacy, exclusivity, heritage, and value justification. Despite the fact that its closest competitor beats it on 2 of those 5 categories outright, the math should not produce the result it produces. We'll get there. The best electric cars 2026 have to offer represent the most competitive EV landscape in automotive history. Prices are compressing, ranges are extending, and the gap between a $35,000 commuter and a 6-figure luxury machine has narrowed in ways that would have seemed absurd 3 years ago. If you are in the market, or if you think you already know this space, the top electric vehicles ranked by this methodology will challenge at least one thing you currently believe. This ranking is not built on price. Price is a single input, not the verdict. The verdict belongs to 5 criteria: engineering, design legacy, exclusivity, heritage, and value justification. Keep those in mind from number 10 all the way down to number 1. What you are watching is a proper analytical countdown, not a spec sheet recitation. Each car here has been evaluated against the same 5-point framework, applied equally regardless of what badge is on the hood or what number is on the sticker. The 2026 EV market is extraordinary for one specific reason: it has forced a reckoning. Legacy brands that spent decades dismissing electrification are now building some of the most technically ambitious machines on the road, and in some cases, beating the companies that invented the playbook. One counterintuitive detail before we begin: the car with the longest range on this list is not the one most people assume. Hold that thought. Most 10 spots on ranked lists are filler. This one is not. The 2026 Chevrolet Equinox EV is the best argument that the electric SUV 2026 buyers actually want, is not a status symbol. It is a tool that works. 300 miles of range, up to 300 horsepower. A quiet, composed ride that feels nothing like a budget vehicle. And a price that starts where most competitors' base trim ends. What keeps it at 10 is what it lacks. There's no heritage here, no engineering risk-taking, no design ambition that pushes the industry anywhere new. It is excellent at not being remarkable, which, at $35,000, is a specific kind of excellence worth respecting. If design legacy is part of the criteria, and it is, then the Ioniq 5 belongs in this conversation on aesthetics alone. The retro-futurist exterior is not derivative of anything on the road. It looks like someone found a concept car from 1985 and decided to build it with 2026 technology. 800-volt charging architecture keeps the Ioniq 5 technically relevant against machines that cost twice as much, and the vehicle-to-load power sharing is one of those features that sounds like a gimmick until a power outage makes it the most useful thing you own. For the money, this is the best EV for the money in its class. The reason it sits at 9 and not higher is range. 320 is good, not dominant. The Ioniq 6 and the Ioniq 5 share a platform. They do not share a design philosophy, a buyer, or a market position. Where the 5 is boxy and assertive, the 6 is a streamliner, a genuine aerodynamic statement that delivers 340 miles of range from a battery smaller than many of its competitors. That efficiency delta is the Ioniq 6's entire argument. It competes with luxury EV sedans on performance and range, prices closer to mainstream, and has a minimalist interior that strips away complexity without feeling cheap. The reason it ranks 1 above the 5 is simple. The engineering efficiency story on the 6 is more impressive. But design-wise, this is the closest call of the entire countdown. There is a specific kind of buyer the EV9 is built for. Someone who needs 3 rows, wants genuine technology, and refuses to be talked down to by a price badge that starts below $60,000. The Kia EV9 delivers 379 horsepower, seats 7, and moves through traffic with the kind of smooth authority that makes the internal combustion alternatives feel agricultural by comparison. The futuristic exterior design holds up. It does not look like a swollen crossover, it looks deliberate. Value justification here is strong. The engineering is not leading edge, and the heritage category is thin for Kia in EVs. But for practical luxury, nothing at this price point does more. $615 horsepower in a luxury electric SUV that starts below $80,000 is not a typo. The Cadillac Vistiq is the model that asks whether Cadillac can build something worthy of the EV era, not just rebadge its existing ambitions in new sheet metal. The answer mostly is yes. The curved digital display architecture is genuinely impressive. The interior materials land where the price expects them to, and the 3.7 second 0 to 60 time makes it quicker than most sports cars that share a highway with it. What it lacks is the soul behind the number. The solid-state EV battery conversation happening across the industry is passing the Vistiq by, and at $79,000, that matters. $1,025 horsepower, 4 motors, 2.8 seconds to 60. And then, after all of that, it drives you into a forest. The Rivian R1S is the least traditional machine in this countdown, and that is exactly what gives it design legacy credit. No other manufacturer has built a full-size luxury electric SUV that performs off-road at this level while delivering 410 miles of highway range. That combination does not exist anywhere else at any price. Heritage is where Rivian is still building, and the brand story is young. But engineering ambition here is undeniable. The R1S does not ask permission from convention. And at 5, it earns that position by doing something genuinely original. Before we get into the top 4, I want to bring something back. At the beginning of this video, I told you there's one car on this list that ranks number 1, despite being outperformed by its closest rival in 2 out of 5 categories. We are getting close to that moment. Make sure you understand why the criteria matter before the reveal lands, because the math is going to require you to actually argue with it. The longest range EV 2026 has produced in a full SUV body is not from Tesla, not from Cadillac, and not from anyone with a century of automotive history. It is the Lucid Gravity, with over 440 miles from a single charge. That number alone would be enough to justify the price of admission for a certain kind of buyer. But what actually earns the Gravity its rank here is the combination. Supercar performance, over 800 horsepower, a 3.4 second 0 to 60, and a glass-dominated interior that makes the cabin feel like a different category of vehicle entirely. Lucid's engineering story is the most technically credible in this countdown outside of number 1. The only limiting factor is heritage, and Lucid is still writing it. If you want to understand why heritage is one of the 5 criteria, look at this machine. The Escalade IQ earns its position not just because of its 750 horsepower, not just because of its 465-mile range, which makes it one of the best long-range electric car choices at any price. And not just because of the 55-inch curved dashboard that makes every other luxury interior look timid. It earns it because the Escalade name carries 40 years of cultural weight. This is the vehicle that defined American luxury for multiple generations. Putting that heritage into an electric powertrain is a statement. It weighs 9,000 pounds, and it's 60 in under 5 seconds. At $127,000, the value argument is complicated, but the statement is not. In the Lucid Air versus Tesla Model S conversation, the data strongly favors Lucid. Over 500 miles of range, up to 1,234 horsepower, a 1.9-second 0 to 60 that is not a track day claim, but a repeatable, real-world number. An interior that makes Tesla's minimalism feel sparse rather than considered. And a starting price that undercuts the car it is about to lose to on this list by nearly $40,000. On paper, the Lucid Air should be number one. Engineering, exceptional. Design legacy, growing fast. Value justification, arguably the strongest of any car here. So why is it second? Because one criterion, the one that doesn't show up in any spec sheet, is the reason you're still watching. The Tesla Model S Plaid range has been here before any of this existed, before Lucid, before Rivian, before anyone thought a luxury electric sedan could do 200 miles per hour. Tesla did not win this ranking on the Tesla Model S Plaid range alone. It won on heritage. No other electric car on this list, at any price, carries the same historical weight. The Model S is the vehicle that made the entire industry take electrification seriously. Tri-motor, 1,006 horsepower, supercharger access, full self-driving architecture that remains the most developed in consumer EVs. The Lucid Air is a better technical machine in several dimensions, but the Model S built the road that the car is driving on. Here is the full answer to what I told you at the start. The Lucid Air outperforms the Tesla Model S Plaid Plus in range by over 100 miles. It is also quicker to 60 by 0.2 of a second, and it costs $38,000 less. In any purely technical ranking, the Lucid Air wins. But this ranking includes heritage, and heritage is the criterion that separates what a car is from what it means. The Tesla Model S did not merely compete in the EV category, it created the conditions under which every car on this list was built. Lucid would not exist without the Model S, forcing the industry to believe in what Lucid is now doing. That is not a small thing. That is the entire story, and the thing most people will want to argue with, which is exactly the right response to a ranking that is trying to tell you something true. If this kind of analytical breakdown, where the criteria do the arguing, not the brand loyalty, is the content you want more of, the channel is right there. The Electric Car Buying Guide 2026 readers will find elsewhere tells you what the specs are. It does not tell you what the specs mean, or why a car that technically loses still ranks first. That gap between data and significance is the most interesting place in automotive analysis right now. The question worth leaving in the comments is this: do you agree that heritage belongs in an EV ranking at all? Or is electrification's whole point that the past no longer counts? And if you think the tension between technical supremacy and historical weight is fascinating in sedans, wait until we apply this same 5-point framework to the most expensive electric trucks ever built. If someone you know is about to spend serious money on one of these machines without knowing why the number one car costs $40,000 more than the car that beats it on paper, send this to them first.